Hello, hello, hello. So, yeah, we're going to try and pick up where we left off yesterday and hopefully avoid the crashes, the trials and tribulations we were having yesterday, but we'll see how it goes. So, that's the little loop we managed to create yesterday. Mainly using logic like for all of this, couple of external samples, little medic break there, and Polyplex doing this pad we really like. Just played that in. A couple of effects on it to give it that nice stereo feel, a little bit of distortion, warmed up with a fab filter a bit. And, you know, this main section here, it rolls quite nicely. Didn't change it in Logic, but I think we settled on like G major. So let's pop up to the top here and set it, mainly as a reminder to myself that when I come back to a track, I know where it's actually set to. And I'm not entirely sure where to roll with it. I was thinking like building in sort of a bass line or something like that in this bit here. And I reckon we can do that. Let's do another complete control. I deleted the last one because it was giving us all manner of issues. But let's stick this in here. Hopefully, we managed to stay rolling today. Anyone on, if you could jump in the chat for us, I'd appreciate it. I haven't tested the chat out and see if it's working yet. If I at least see a couple of people say hi, hello, or what's up, and or something of that nature, I know it's all working and I can help reply to your comments. Right, so in here we can hit browse on the old complete control. What should we go with? This kind of track, do you know what? Let's go and grab a classic massive. Or should I actually dive into Massive X? Nah. A whole different thing, and let's go and grab the classic massive, and God knows where the initialized patch is. Do you know what we've got? That resonant blaze pack installed. I probably just rolled past. I saw it a second ago. What the hell? Oh, there you are. That did have some good bass sounds on it, and we can just roll off of something in there, I reckon. That could work. Could build something out of that, I reckon. Fingers crossed for it loading and not crashing on us today, hey? Let's see what happens. Making sure the stream's working. We seem good, although, let's see. Alright. Let's see what we can find. Transport controls aren't working. Fun and games. That little rhythm. Don't know if you guys will be able to hear that. You've got a set of decent headphones on, the big monitors on. Hopefully you can. Just going to mute the mic for 2 seconds. Sweet, so super simple bass line, just record it in there. Now I definitely miss some of the timing. It happens a lot when I'm on live stream. I get like a weird lag, so it might not work bang on, but let's see. Yeah, so it missed on there. So what we can do to fix it really easy, if we highlight our region, and over on the left hand side we've always got the inspector up, or at least I always leave it up. Just press I to see it. We can just use the like quick quantize in there, so where it says quantize off. If we just go and bash that on the 8 swing, the 1/8 swing A, sorry, that will snap it to pretty much what we need. We might have to tidy up a couple of other starting points. But for the most part, that seems to have landed pretty much bang on where we wanted. So we just listen to it in context of the drums and see how we go. Works. Now, it seems a little odd that it starts off the beat, but it does give space for the kick. It's just a little bit slow, so maybe do that. Yeah, it just gives a little bit of space for the kick to come in first. So just take solo off, so we're listening in context. I like that and the way that's going. What we'll do, we're just going to take the pads over into the next bit. So I think we're just going to have that breakdown, and I'm going to try and find something that fits in there into a breakdown, and then we're going to go into the full tune. This kind of like an extended intro, if you will. Apparently my resolution's off. Alright. Right, it might get a little hiccup with Logic there, but that should hopefully fix the resolution for you. Right, let's see if we've got like a vocal loop or something in Logic that maybe will fit under those pads. Right, let's go instrument, let's go vocals. There's actually just been a new update for Logic with a whole load of new samples I've not downloaded yet, but that'd be interesting to have a look at. Over here on the right hand side, if you hit key, you can actually filter everything out via key, although it gives it in a long pain in the backside list once you actually find what you're after. So I've now got a bunch of things that are in G. Let's see if we can find something that works. Don't think Bollywood lyrics are really going to fit. What's this? We're going to grab that because I think that'll work later. We can have play around with that, turn it into something different. Definitely not. Okay, maybe. Can turn that into some kind of mellow pad type thing. Let's give that a bash. Yeah. Yeah. I reckon they might layer together. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Move. Yes. Why? Ooh, oh, 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 oh. Ooh, yeah.
Maybe. I do this a lot. I'll just grab loads of samples I think might work, throw them in the project so I can have a play around.
No.
No. Jesus, no. Yeah, maybe. Alright, let's have a little play around here and see what we got. So I quite like these like paddy style things. We want to see if they work with a pad. And we're going to make them into something else, I reckon. Hello, Gimbal. You alright, mate? How's your day? A little bit better, I'm hoping, rather than feeling so disparaged like yesterday. Okay, I kind of like that. So let's try and make it into something. What we're going to do first off is I'm going to throw an EQ in. Get rid of any low end because I don't want it there later. So I'll probably take it up to 200 hertz ish. We'll leave all the high end in for now. And I'm actually going to throw Space Designer on it, which seems super counterintuitive, but you'll see why, hopefully, shortly. Sweet. Okay, you're massive for some reason. Been doing videos probably. So what we're going to do is potentially find another sample that's in G from my sample library and use that as our impulse response in Space Designer and create a little something around that. Just put G, this will give us God knows what in the D&B library, but if we find something cool that it works with, give it a bash. Now there's an idea. So whenever you do this, generally it's going to work really odd first. We're going to take dry out and you have the wet usually right down because these aren't meant to be used as responses, but you get something cool out. Like that. That's nice. I'm glad you're sitting in the garden. I've been in the garden a fair bit today with the little one, which is good fun. There you go. So we've turned that vocal into an odd blend between a vocal and a sax. Just gives an extra little something in the background we can use in that space and bring it in. Now I thought this might layer quite nicely about here. Could be completely wrong, but let's find out. It's going to be really loud, but I reckon so. Let's take the gain down by about 12 dB though. It can just be a little background vibe sat there. See real quick. Sweet, so that vocal I'm going to flip into reverse and use that as a transition. Like that. What I'm going to do is bring this whole break section we made before, so it drops in here. And we've got the drum automation for it, or at least we should have some drum automation for it. If maybe we lost that. Right, there we are. And yeah, we want it to be back up at full spec here. I'm just going to bring a little bit of the loop in for a few bars before, like so, and like that. Give us a little like ramp up, fade in, back into the track. I hope. Where are we? That's a bit full right till there. We can take it right away there. bring that down. Do T and W to have a nice little curve in. See how that plays. Cool, classic. Going to make it even steeper, but then start it a little higher up. Sweet. So let's see how it works as a whole transition. Yeah, so it works for me. What we're going to do is get rid of the bass in the start and bring it over to here. Definitely not the best bass line in the world. That needs some work, but we're getting the idea. We're getting a feel of a tune. Yeah, and I wonder if we can run these a second time and then maybe bring everything in across that. Yeah, that's kind of working. I actually like having the pad in the whole way, but we're going to need to automate it, or it's just going to be the same. It's got a lot of movement in, but take these out. Alright, let's see if we can get away with literally just popping this vocal loop in. What's it going to do for us? Okay, so what will probably work is after this section, and we'll make a bit of a transition. We'll have that in there. I think we're going too overboard with these rolls in the break. So maybe we're going to mute that one and just have the break roll through. And this is why I mute stuff rather than delete it, because if I want to change something, I can just highlight it and it's back where I wanted it originally. And we'll roll the percussion through. So that whole one just rolls, then these are split up, and we can do the same thing on the next lot. And then for this, we'll bring these over as well. We can just have a breaks section using this part of the drums. Bring them over like that. So we've got a change here. What was into this vocal. Okay. It's going to be way too loud. Let's gain it down. Something I do every now and then is just drop the gains on everything. So when I come to mixing, I'm not putting faders down by huge amounts because Logic's not the best for that anyway. Alright, so that second little vocal, that layers up nicely, but it's really narrow and centre-ish. And there's loads of low end in it. So I'm going to do the classic of take some low end away. Not too much though, probably just sort of 120 hertz-ish. Okay, so it's 200, so let's go up to 220. That's what's interfering with my snare, like that. And I'm going to use one of my buses that I pre-save. So we're going to send it to bus 10, and that gives me a new aux just here. And what we are going to do is load up a preset bus setting I have called the wide aux, which should load up a nice plugin chain for me. And now this vocal here, the quite narrow harmony one, we're going to send to wide aux, and it will sound like this instead. Easy mode, job done. Just generally gain staging. Yeah, I agree with you. It's how it's done in Logic's not ideal, like with the inspector and dropping the gain, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Who cares as long as the end result's good, or at least what you were after. Alright, we are, or at least I'm going to try and build up a bit of a transition in here. I'm going to get rid of that tom roll at the end. It's just, that's a bit more of like bringing it into the track, and fading it out there is not what I'm after. And I'm going to do the classic reverse cymbal, but we're going to take a ride, if I can find a decent ride sound. Jesus, not that. Okay, maybe none of those. Oh, everything's super short. That's the sort of vibe we're after. Right. So, I'm going to drop that in. Inspector to get it to reverse. We are going to snap it as close to there as possible. Logic's always a bit of a liar as to what it's put the point on. A little bit of a fade in at the start. It'll probably be too loud. Fine though. By about 9. What we're going to do on here is pop the tape delay on. I'm not going to do it on a bus because I don't think I'll use it again in the track. And there's a nice little trick you can do with the tape delay with a bit of automation. You can kind of really sort of edge it into doing what you want. So it's here, balance wise. Cool. So we are going to want to adjust probably just the feedback. So we'll play around with that as the first thing, and you need to be super sensitive on the feedback, or we can get basically an infinite feedback loop that sounds horrendous. So just a heads up, especially to Gimbal, who is chatting away. Although you're in the garden, you should be alright, assuming you've not got earpods in or anything. So what we do, we'll have almost 0 on the feedback, and then at the point we want to capture, we're going to drive it right up, sort of a ridiculous level, and we'll bring the overall wetness up to about 50, somewhere in that region, and then we need to control it over time based on how long we want to keep it rolling. So we have to make a loop. So we're starting to lose it there. We're actually going to bring the feedback back up again. And we have to hold it at over 100% just for a little bit, but not too much over, because it'll go up really, really quickly. Yeah, that just starts to bring it back in there, so we can push it up to maybe sort of 120 and then have it dip almost straight afterwards. Oh, 165. We'll try it. Yeah, just here it kind of gets brought back in just for that moment or two there. Okay, so we've got quite a bit of space to play around with it and bring it back in and out and get that feeling. We'll try using the marquee tool and see if we can copy that out, save us some effort of rewriting it all again and again. So if we do that, we can, come here, quite often get it to copy, like so. So where it's going back down to 61 here, it's going a little bit too out to the point it's losing the sound. We need to just kind of keep it in the feedback loop. That's it, and now right towards here we're going to try and pull the trick off of making it ramp up with the track. So I'm just nursing it along through this whole passage. It's just starting to come back at the end there. Then we need to drop the feedback off literally as the track drops in, or it will get out of hand rapido. Hopefully that'll work as like a little transition segment now. Let's give it a go. take it a little bit less down here, nurse it on a bit more. Downside of doing this is you have to play the whole section through and through over and over till you get it right. But that should be good. We can always nurse it a bit more in the future. I feel that we could have something else just transitioning into that as well. Let's have a crash just to signify we've landed. That is one of BC's crashes. We're going to use that. We know it works for this kind of track. Cool. And obviously way too loud, so we're going to gain it down yet again. Thanks, dude. It's yeah, something I've used a couple of times. Yeah, just that little crash in there is maybe a bit too reduced, so we go from -9 to the -12. Just a little audio cue to like signify we've landed on the next section. Now, the way the brake's moving I kind of like, but I feel like I can speed it up without adding anything to it. And I might just try the little reverse hi-hat trick to like swoop into maybe the second or even the first snare. So we're just going to go hats real quick. That will probably do the job, and we need a blank audio track, so just take that one, do Command D, copy it, and I'm going to stick it just below our snare hits up here, just so it's easy to line up. And if this is a trick you don't know, what we're going to do is put a hi-hat just before the snare, reverse it, give it the tiniest like little intro, tiniest little fade, and bring it down massively in level. And it can just help give the feeling of moving a little bit faster. Let's try it on both. We're just going to loop this section of the drums and we'll just A-B it, make sure it is working. Yeah, simplest little thing. So maybe we don't include it in our intro section or anything like that, but once the track starts to come into its full, we've got it there, just swinging into the snare a bit more. See how we feel about it. Really notice it, but once it's gone, you just sort of like, oh, there's something missing that was there before. Just helps it swing along a little bit more. In hindsight, I should have done it earlier, so I didn't have to copy all of these, but here we are. There. One last one. Come on. Oh. Fire blaster? Yes, mate. When you say trying to make a voice sound interesting, what do you want, like the mix to be sounding good, or you're just trying to do some vocal effects? I mean, something I did a minute ago was change that to sound like this. And we're just using it as a pad in the background. I think we need to address that bass line because it's just not quite right. I think a big part of it is that sound. Decide if I want to sit and build a massive patch with you guys or if I'm going to sample flick, and I think I'm going to sample flick because watching me design a bass is going to be tedious. Okay, classic Reese type sound might work if we drop it an octave. Maybe 2 octaves. Actually, 48. Too far. 36. Nope. Okay, for like singing voice and making it pop more, if you jump on YouTube and do, I think the search will be something along the lines of mixing bad vocals, tricks I use, something like that. Just bash unders in the search. I did a whole video on where I got some vocals back that weren't ideal and how I mixed them. That can probably help you out. For the minute, what time are we on? I'll roll on, keep on doing this until 1 o'clock. If you're still here, I'll see if I can load up another project where I'm mixing the vocals and we can have a look at some of what we're doing. Thanks, Gimbal. Oh, jeez. I just can't find the right sound. I think I'm going to have to build it from whatever the original was. I don't remember what I was using now. Oh, it was none of these, was it? Okay. Let's have a look. Who's that? That bass line on the back burner for the minute, and assuming Logic doesn't fart all over me like it did yesterday, we are gonna do a new track. Just gonna try a different idea for a bass line. I kind of like that, but it doesn't quite fit with the vibe we're going for. Yeah, no worries, man. So like I said, if you're still here a little bit after 1, I'll load up another track I've been working on. We'll have a look at the vocals if you want. So let's grab, let's see if I got my Monarch patches saved on this machine. I'm gonna guess not. No. Oh yes, I have. Okay, let's see if any of my monarch patches, which for some reason are all doubled, let's see if any of those give us what we're after. Kind of. Yeah, that's sitting more in our territory. It's leaky. Yeah, I think there's something in that. Any of you like use Monarch? I absolutely love it. I made a bunch of patches for it ages ago when I did the first album. Right, let's see if I can find something in here. Super simple thing going on, but I'm going to play around with some automation and see if there's anything fun we can get out of it. I don't really know, to be honest. I suppose I could try the original melody that I put in. That worked alright. Let's quantize it real quick. That was definitely off of time. Well off that. So the little trickery that doesn't always work with complete control, but we're going to give it a quick bash, is to flip this channel into touch mode and quickly move everything we want to automate, and then we should get lanes for it all. Fingers crossed. Now I saw some snap back, which means, there we go. And now, look at that, I've got 4 automation lanes ready to rumble. So, what is it, JR3D, are you still here? Give me a yes, and if so, I'll load up a project with a bunch of vocals in, and we can have a look at what I've been trying to do with them if you want. Okay, so I like that dip there. So if we keep it all just wobbling around here. Alright, fair play. I said I'll do this for an hour and then do that. So we will save up this one here for today. And hopefully in recent we've got She's the Devil.